Some people were surprised to see you on Kendrick's album, but what's that relationship been like, kind of collabing with him and making music together?
Me and Kendrick, we got a lot of little things in common that people probably won't understand. Both of us, we Geminis, and both of us, we Hebrew Israelite. Or me, as we Geminis, and both of us, we Hebrew Israelite. Or me, as we Geminis. And both of us, we Hebrew Israelite. Or me and him, we could talk, and he understand me beyond and what the internet theories. It's like he got a different perception of me. He ain't count like he said.
Florida rapper Kodak Black, the 28-year-old, turned himself into the Orange County Jail on Wednesday after Orlando police put out a warrant for a drug trafficking charge. WESH 2's Christina Watkins is live outside the jail. Christina, the rapper just made his first appearance.
He did, and his attorneys did most of the talking, starting off by saying he flew into Florida from California to turn himself in. Now, remember, President Donald Trump actually commuted a sentence from Kodak Black that he faced a few years ago, but when it came down to setting bond today in court, that did not matter.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. If you can just tell me your name and your date of birth.
Yeah, Capri Sun.
Kodak Black spent nearly 15 minutes in front of an Orange County judge Thursday for his first appearance, while his attorneys argued for a lesser bond.
If you read the affidavit that is attached to the warrant, Judge.
The rapper, originally from Pompano Beach, Florida, is accused of trafficking MDMA.
More than 10 grams, less than 200 grams. That is a first-degree felony.
Orlando police said their investigation goes back to last November when someone called 911 after hearing gunshots outside of Children's Safety Village. It's a nonprofit organization. When officers arrived, they said they saw a BMW and a Lamborghini parked outside.
Neither of the vehicles are registered to Mr. Capri personally.
The report states officers smelled marijuana and started searching those cars. Kodak, whose government name is Bill Capri, then walked up. His attorney said the cops found a bag with drugs and other items in it, which officers said they connected to Kodak's Instagram page.
And on one picture.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory, it goes to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, brakathum to the hopeful elect. Shalom, shalom. This is your brother Taziar Benyamia from the GMS Kansas City Church. I'm back with another lesson. I think this lesson will just be a few different points because I want to talk about a couple different things. But first subject on our agenda that we're going to get into is Kodak Black. All right. Kodak last week got arrested for drug trafficking. All right, and this is a guy who knew, the truth of being an Israelite. All right, I remember Kodak putting on songs, just putting it on IG that he's an Israelite. He posted a picture next to the Apocrypha. He called himself a Levite, which the true biblical Israelites are blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and also the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations. I kind of have to, be saying, bringing my lessons down to ABC, because, I'll be putting my lessons up on Rumble. Hey, the Rumble views be going up, man. So, so I still want to put the basic info out there for people who just now watching. But, Kodak Kodak is one that knows he's an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? He called himself a Levite. He posted pictures with the Apocrypha. Okay, but he never turned his life around. All right, he kept hanging around slimy, grimy niggas. He kept promoting slimy, grimy music, you know. And I ain't gonna act like I don't listen to Kodak, you know. Sometimes I be playing his music sometimes. All right, but that don't mean that the guy is righteous just because I listen to his music. All right, he knew the truth, but he still loved the nigga lifestyles and the lifestyles that comes with being a nigga, man. Kodak loved that shit, and so you know he got drowned, man. Cause let me see, get a quick preset. Now I'm at a stop sign. All right, this 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Okay, so what the Most High Yahawah did, who the Most High is who the world calls God, and his Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ, real name YAHAWASHI. With the Most High Yahawah bahasham, which means bahasham means in the name. What the Most High Yahawah bahasham did, he gave Kodak both. All right, he had the opportunity. He had the opportunity to get worldly fame and riches and notoriety and clout and females and all that shit, right? But he also gave Kodak the opportunity to have those spiritual riches, man. Because when Kodak found out he was an Israelite, he could have shunned all of his past activities. You know, he could have repented. You know, he didn't even have to make Israelite music. You know, you could have just gone off the scene. You know, he could have shunned all that shit. He should have put the Molly down. You know, that nigga love rapping about Molly. You know, he should have put the Molly down, quit hanging out with them wicked ass niggas he'd be around, sniper gang and shit. You know, still getting on IG live and shit. You know, he could have repented, man. Called on the names of Yahawah Bashim Shai, took this truth serious. And you know, the Lord probably would have blessed him with other ways of income, man. All right. But instead, we seen that man decline worse and worse, man. Because first, you know, Kodak used to be rapping about being on the Molly and shit. But then the Most High put a fucking heavier demon on him. The Most High put a fucking meth demon on him. He was rapping about smoking meth. You know, he was looking tweaked out and bugged out. And this is a guy who had the whole world opened up to him. Remember, this nigga was locked up in jail, right? This nigga was locked up in jail and fucking Trump gave him a pardon. You see? So he even had the opportunity that most Jakes will never get. But once again, if your spirit ain't right, it don't mean nothing, man. You can get pardoned from Trump. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can go to rehab. You can reform your life. None of that shit matter if your spirit ain't right, man. Kodak touched more money than all of us, bro. All of us in the truth. You know, he had millions, bro. No, not half. He still has millions. But what do those millions mean if you locked up in a fucking cell, man, eating honey buns? What does all those millions mean if you ain't got nothing to show for it and you still eating fucking ramen noodles? While we out here, lowly men in the spirit, you know what I'm saying, working our jobs 9 to 5. But guess what, nigga? We can still get chicken when we want. We can still get tequila when we want, nigga. You know, if we wanted to, we can go out there and find some box if we want, man. We ain't gotta be around, you know. We ain't gotta be in a fucking jail pod full of 50 niggas, man. Everybody stinking and musty, wearing sweatpants and shit. You know, we could be in the comfort of our own homes and just be amongst our own spirit. Or we could be amongst brothers and dwell amongst righteous spirit. You see? So, you know, everything worldly is not folly, man. All right? Now a lot of the times it is, you know, the Klay Thompson shit, the Cardi B, the Stephon Diggs, all that shit is folly. But even within worldly news, there's still lessons to be learned. Like Kodak, man. On how what happens if a man chooses the worldly riches over the spiritual riches of YAHAWASHI, man. All right, and Kodak is just an example, man. This could happen to any Israelite. The Israelites being the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners. You know, if you don't tap into this Bible, if you don't tap into your identity, all right, if you don't learn the names of your power, YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, call on those names and be sincere towards those names, you could end up like Kodak, man. And guess what? This world about to be destroyed, bro. So Kodak, he ain't gonna get out and start driving his old school again. The Most High, cause shit, drug trafficking, that's more intense than fucking possession. And you know Florida don't play, bruh. Florida's a big ass plantation. You know, a lot of niggas go. You think it's just weather and fine women and good food all the fucking time, nigga. Florida is a fucking plantation, bruh. Just like Louisiana. Those are two places I really don't. I wouldn't recommend doing some dirt, man. And Mississippi. Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, them shits is plantation states. They actually love locking niggas up down there, man. Okay? But, you know, getting back to the point is that death and destruction is easily accessible, man. And a lot of people are going to be involved in that. But if YAHAWASHI gives you the opportunity to have life, all right, if YAHAWASHI gives you the opportunity to have life, man, you got to step into it. All right? Because what did the Lord say? Let me get that real quick. 1 second. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High Mammon, right? Kodak, nigga, you can't serve the Most High and also serve your fucking label record executives, man. You see? You can't serve the Most High and serve your flesh, man. You can't serve the Most High and then go about trying to fucking serve these women and serve your appetites, man. You got to be fully dedicated to YAHAWASHI. That's what we be telling brothers, man. Even if the straight gate gets hard, bro. Because the straight gate do get hard. There is positions of difficulty. There is times where, you know, you got to question your own sanity, man. All right? But the spirit keeps us uplifted and the spirit keeps us comforted, man. See, Kodak, he found comfort within his flesh, bro. All right, Kodak found comfort within the things that were easily accessible, not the spirit, man. He wasn't getting into the spirit. All right, he wasn't praying, he wasn't fasting, he wasn't supporting the ministry. All right, he wasn't watching the videos. This nigga was on fucking live, nodding off. Nigga Kodak Black was on IG Live nodding off like he was on like he was on that Fetty, man. See, the Most High is not nothing to play with, bro. Okay? And you know, I'm gonna just leave it at that. I know I said I'm gonna go into a few different points, but you know, it was some meat in this lesson, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know, all praise, honor, and glory goes to YAHAWASHI. Shalom.